Well, ladies and dudes, one of the most shocking things about this movie is Harry Potter is in it. I did not see that coming. Did you? Hard for me to say. Well, anyway, hi ladies and dudes, this is Rebecca Lynn Barkley, aka Woobop 1987, and this is my review for today. And today, here we go. It's time for part 2 of the Now You See Me saga. I will say it's a pretty good sequel to watch, but I think I really like Over 9,000. I think I like the first one better because it's a whole lot of fun to watch. But I will say the second one is pretty good, but not really the best sequel I ever watched. Well, at least there is a few moments I do enjoy about the film here and there, but sadly there are a few parts missing that was not in the film at all. Well, if you know what I mean. So without further ado, ladies and dudes, here is my next movie review of Now You See Me Too. So let's get started on the main plot of the story. What should I say about the main plot of the story? It took place 1 year later. Our beloved horsemen had separated for quite a while, try to do their own things, think about some next strategies and plans for their next magic show, and the redheaded lady is no longer there in the group. She quit for some unknown reason, and they added a new person in there. I will say she's okay, but sometimes she's a bit of annoying. And Dylan has to do the best he can to take good care of them at all costs. And yeah, there's a brand new threat on the loose that took place around in China about this young dude who's the son of that spoiled billionaire dude, and he wants the horsemen to find some type of mysterious chip that came from in some type of business work or whatever. And also that Bradley guy's gonna get involved in it too. And yeah, a little bit more parts of Mr. Birdie! That's all I can say about the main plot of the story. Like I said, ladies and dudes, what the heck do I think about this movie? I will say it's a pretty good sequel, but not really the best sequel I have ever watched in my whole entire life. Yeah, I do have some problems here and there in the film, but at least it's a good sequel to watch. But like I said, I like the first one better. I will say it had a pretty good storyline for the most part. I will say the characters are likable or fine as they are. I don't mind Daniel Radcliffe playing the main villain of the film. I love the cinematography of the movie. It had a really good score. It has some good other magic tricks that nobody had never seen before. And there's only 2 scenes I do like about in the film, and just 2 scenes only. So anyway, let's head on to the strongest points and the weakest points of Now You See Me Too. I will say for the strongest points for this movie is a tie, just a tie, between the finale and another underwater sequence. I will say for the finale, I gotta keep it nice and short. It's fun, it's interesting, it's a whole lot of fun to watch, and some secrets that has to be revealed that nobody had never seen before. And yes, it's one of the best con artist moments ever in movie history. Enough said. And as for the underwater sequence, that was one of the most scariest underwater sequence I have ever seen in my whole entire life. Seeing poor Dylan in that metal box thingy-majig that looks like something that came from out of the bank. I did not know that he's going to be in that thing that brought him back a terrible memory that was from his childhood. A very tragic story about what happened to his father when he did not survive in that metal box thingy-majig. That happened many, many years ago, and it's history starting to repeat itself, and he's trying to survive. It's one of the most difficult struggles I have ever seen in movie history, where he's on a mailbox and he's going to be drowned to death. I guess you could say it's one of the best, scariest, and one of the most biggest oh heck no moments ever in movie history. It's not like all the other underwater sequences I have ever seen in movie history. The only ones I know the best were characters who did survive underwater sequence will always be when Priest Robert Landon from Angels and Demons, he tried to survive himself, tried to risk his life to save an elderly dude from being drowned to death in a fountain. And also from John Wick Chapter 3, Pen Development. John Wick had survived for just a couple of seconds after when he killed a bad guy in a swimming pool and he just shoot him with a gun 4 frickin' times. Or what about Goku in Super Android 13, where he did risk his life underwater while the water is icy cold and he has to do a spirit bomb thing upside down for just 14 seconds. And 14 seconds only. Yeah, about this scene, it is scary, insane, and it's all about risking your own life. That's all I could say about the strongest point in the movie. Well, two best strongest points of the movie is the finale and the underwater sequence. That featured an oh heck no moment in so many ways. And I will say for my weakest points for this movie, well, it sucks that the redheaded lady did not show up in the whole entire film. You know the redheaded lady who was a part of the Horsemen group? She quit for some unknown reason and she left her boyfriend behind. And I think I remember right, an interesting fun fact about the lady who was a part of the Horsemen. Well, the actress who played her. Well, if I remember right, the reason why that actress who was the redheaded lady, I think she was pregnant back in that time and she won't be there to come back and reprise her role. So I think the people had decided to try to change the storyline a little bit and try to add a new actress in there. And since she's okay for the most part. So yeah, one major weak point in the movie is it sucks that the redheaded lady did not come back and be a part of the Horsemen again, since we already know what happened to the actress who played her. And also, what happened to the French lady? I really love that French lady in the movie. Well, back from the first one. I wonder why the hell they never mentioned her in the whole entire film. What the heck happened to that lovely blonde-haired lady who could speak French really, really good and becoming Dylan's love interest? Well, I wonder why they never explain about what happened to her in the whole entire film. What the heck happened? Why she did not show up in the whole entire movie from start to finish. And it completely sucks. Big time. Yeah. Sad thing to say. So that's my two biggest weak points of the movie is the redheaded lady never showed up in the whole entire film, since we already know about some important facts about the actress herself, about the reason why she did not come back and reprise her role for. Well, if you guys get the story. And also, I do miss that French lady so darn much. She's really one of the best parts about the first film. I will say for the characters, they're fine as usual. And yeah, I will say about the new person they added in there, I will say she's okay for the most part. At least she has a few good moments here and there, but she is a bit too annoying in the whole entire movie. And I feel bad for Dylan. Dylan has a very understandable storyline, but I will say one point about Dylan. I think this is Mark Ruffalo's best performance, best role, and best character. And I really like this guy so darn much. He did have a very good storyline, good personality, great attitude. And he's a great leader for the Horsemen. And I feel bad for his storyline. His storyline was pretty darn sad in so many ways about what happened to his father. That's for sure. I think I like him better playing Dylan than the one from the Bruce Banner character from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, since he is my least favorite Bruce Banner actor out there. Well, if you guys get the picture. Well, hard for me to explain. So yeah, I will say the characters are fine as usual, or some of them are pretty darn likable. And now I'll go ahead and tell you about my final thoughts of Now You See Me Part 2. Overall, Now You See Me Part 2 is a pretty good movie, but not the best sequel I have ever seen my whole entire life. It does have a few moments here and there I do enjoy about this film. I will say, it had a pretty good storyline for the most part. The characters are likable or fine as usual. It has good cinematography, it has some good magic tricks, it had a really nice score, and the underwater sequence is pretty darn scary, but one of the best underwater sequence I have ever seen my whole entire life. Even if it's a no heck no moment. So I decided to give this an 8 out of 10. That's for sure. Enough said. And I'll be back for more movie reviews to come in the main future. Whichever it's going to be. So I'll see you all later, and sayonara.